This is a tip on how projectors in human design can find clients. So if you don't know what human design is, this can also apply to like other people too. But I'm a projector, so that means I have to, quote, wait for an invitation before giving my expertise and my thoughts and my, everything. I have to be invited before I can do that. Otherwise, it just annoys the other person very badly. But anyways, one of the ways that I, as a projector, have been able to find clients is by joining programs that I was like super, super excited about. So throughout my life, ever since I first started my business back in 2006, I've always been drawn to like some kind of program, some kind of training, some kind of event, coaches, all kinds of stuff. And a lot of the early stuff I joined, just because I was drawn to it, or I was curious about it, or because I had FOMO, fear of missing out, or I thought I need to join this because this will be the answer to everything. So having tested all of that, and I really didn't do it to test it. I didn't have that testing mentality, but looking back, it was kind of like, I was just doing whatever came to me. I was like signing up to lots of programs. But what really made a difference was signing up to stuff that I was really drawn to for a deeper reason, not just some superficial reason. So like I would join like a coaching program, a mastermind, a group program. And then I would meet people in the program, and then some of them would reach out to me and be like, hey, we want to hire you for writing, copywriting. Are you interested? And I'd be like, yeah. And so that's how I would get a client. Or I would join a training or something, and I would meet people in the training, or the person hosting the training would hire me. And so that's actually where I think that's like where I've found the majority of my clients. I would say maybe 80% of my clients have come from me doing something, joining something, participating in something that seemed really intriguing to me, and then meeting people within that group, or being hired by the person that's like running it or something. I've also had instances where I would attend events back when we could do that, right? I would travel, I would get on a plane, I would attend these business events, conferences and stuff. And the person hiring, or the person doing the event, would end up hiring me because I kept showing up there, and they knew me, and they're like, oh, there's Michelle, she's the copywriter. That's right. And they would eventually hire me. So now the tricky part is it takes money to do all this stuff. So you have to like pay to get into the program, or pay for the training, pay for whatever. So that's a little bit tricky, because if you're like starting out and you don't even have money, you're like, well, how do I pay for it? How do I like get the funds to actually get in the door on some of these things? And the one thing that I've kind of learned is that you make a decision to do it, and then the money shows up from somewhere. So I don't know how it happens. It just happens where you make a decision, I'm going to do this, and then the resources show up after you make the decision. Now that is based on like, what is that? That's universal laws, I guess. That's where you want to do something and you're committing to do it, and the universe bends and twists itself to help you do it. So now I didn't know that principle. I didn't like fully grasp that principle. So in the beginning, I would put all that shit on a credit card, which I do not recommend. I don't believe in debt anymore. I hate debt. It's just shit. It's shitty shit. It ruins people's lives. It ruins your finances. It drags you down. It makes you a slave. So But that's what I did in the beginning when I had no other way. When I didn't know of any other possible way, I would just default to using a credit card, which don't do that. Sometimes when I would, after I made the decision to no longer use the credit cards, I was like, that's not an option. This money's going to have to come in from somewhere else. Like, it's going to have to come through my business or something. And this is like later on when I actually had experience with working with clients. So I was like, I'm making a decision to do this thing. I'm 100% solid on it. I'm doing it. Like, we're doing this. And I would pay for it. And then something would show up. A client would send a big project. Something would show up to cover that expense. So as you like get better and better, you can like save money and you can like allocate money for this. But when you're starting out, you have to make a decision, and you want to only invest in things that are really drawing to you, not things that are just random or you have fear of missing out. Like, it needs to be something that you're like, this is really pulling at me. Like, I feel a sense of peace at the thought of studying this or doing this or like taking this training. Like, some trainings you have to like sit and like feel that. How does it feel to like do this training? How does it feel to invest this money into this thing? Does it feel like, oh my God, this is like the answer to all my prayers? Like, that's not the energy we're looking for. We're looking for like a knowing of, this is going to be good for me. This is like really speaking to me. And, maybe you have to do a few programs to get to the point where you actually know if something's good or not. I've invested in a lot of stuff where it wasn't that great, and it's because I wasn't that great and I wasn't that discerning. And so you learn that over time. But yeah, that's one way that I, as a projector in human design, have been able to find clients, is just by joining programs that really appeal to me, and then meeting people within the program that either become clients or they know someone that needs like my help, et cetera, et cetera. And it's so cool how it like all falls into place. Or the person doing the training hires me, right? That's really cool. If you want help with this, because this worked for me, and it doesn't always work, but it works. And you, as a projector, you have to be patient, sometimes for a long time. So if you're a projector, you can actually reach out to me, and if you want help with this, and I would be happy to like talk through with you on this, because I'm actually really curious to see if anyone like has a similar thing where they're joining these programs or trainings or whatever, and you're like, I need help like finding the clients. Like, reach out to me, Michelle at antimarketingmanifesto.com, and let's just like jump on a Zoom call real quick, and I'll like sit down with you for like 10-15 minutes and help you with that. Because I know how like tricky it can be when you're first starting out and you're like, I don't know where to find these clients. If I could find clients, trust me, you can. It's like not that hard. It's really more of getting yourself in order and then putting yourself in the right place, and then being ready to act when something comes up, especially as a projector. You have to like be ready to act on the invitation once it shows up.